Hello, this is composer Randall Standridge. Some of you may or may not know that in addition to being a composer, I'm also heavily involved in marching arts design and marching arts education. So one thing I thought I would do, I don't get to go out as much as I used to, but with the wonderful world of social media, I thought I would give just some helpful tips to just the marching populace in general. If you find this helpful, be sure to subscribe to my channel on YouTube. And follow me for other stuff about this, about music, about just fun stuff in general. So hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, just follow along. Also, I want to give one quick caveat. Obviously, if you have visual staff at your school, this may not be as helpful because they've got their own style, but this is intended more for directors who may not have access to that staff. So hopefully this will help you and your students. What we're going to talk about today is the importance of leg shape. One thing when I go around to marching arts programs across the country that I hear directors say over and over is they talk to the kids about their feet. They're like, get your feet up, get your feet up, get your feet up. And that's good, except a lot of times what they're not looking at is what is causing the actual problem. So we're going to do a short video about the importance of leg shape and what you should be looking for to help you get a cleaner articulation and uniform style for you and your students. So basically what I want to show first is how leg shape affects the ability of a student to get a roll step or their foot up. So a lot of times we talk to students about getting the toe up, getting the toe up as high as possible and hitting the back of that heel. Well, if their leg is bent at all, what that does is that changes the angle of the leg, and you can see like it pushes my foot down, okay? So again, any type of bend, it's going to push my foot towards the ground. So it's very important that on that step that we lock out that knee and get the leg shape. Also, think about this. The foot is really a small part of the body compared to everything else. So for me as a judge, if I am watching your ensemble, I'm watching your technique, I am going to be much more aware of what the leg shape is doing as opposed to what the foot is actually doing. Really the foot, the main thing for it, aside from being clean, and we do want to see that, is to make sure that it gives the proper role for good playing, good support of the instrument and playing mechanism and everything else. But that leg shape is going to really be noticeable, it's bigger, and it affects how high you can get that toe up. So when you are teaching marching technique, make sure that you're concentrating on that leg shape. The second thing I want to say with that is as we go through the step, that leg shape and where the foot passes through the center of the body is also going to really affect that articulation and the overall look. One thing I notice about a lot of groups when their marching technique doesn't look super clean, it has to do with that leg shape on the step, and when they pass through the center, the students will be, or the performers, will be passing through different points. So for instance, like we take that first step, then as we pass through the center, if we're all at the same spot, it's going to require the leg to be slightly bent because if we straighten it out, it's going to scuff the ground. Slightly bent, but passing through right by that heel, then passing through to the next step. So if you have students that are doing this all together, it's going to look really uniform. But if you have a few students kind of like lifting up above the ankle through here and getting that really bent leg shape, that's going to cause some discrepancy within your marching technique with what we would perceive up in the press box or on the field or whatever. So even though it may seem tedious, it's very important to look at those details. Leg shape on the step and leg shape through the center of the step. In addition to that, I'll just throw this in as a bonus. Make sure your students are really aware of the second step when they step off. This is unrelated to this, but just while we're on the subject. If you look at like a marching step off, the first step, we go from the center of the body to whatever direction. That second step is twice the distance, meaning it needs more velocity, more energy, and it's also what sets the tempo. Anytime I see a group where students are out of step, it almost always happens within the first two steps. And it's because that second step is not energized enough, it's not on tempo. So it takes two steps to create tempo, not just one. One step is, we have no idea how fast that is. Two steps, that sets the tempo. So anyway, those are just a couple of small tips as you're starting your marching season. I'll have some more coming up, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, peace, love, and music, and have a great season.